I couldn't bring myself to tell this story for a long time. Even now, 7 years later, everything inside me clenches just thinking about those events. My name is Anna. I was married to a man I truly loved. We met at university, went through poverty, first failures, rented apartments, and a constant lack of money. When he proposed to me, I was sure this was forever. The first years of marriage were almost perfect. But then the usual routine began. Work, fatigue, arguments over little things left unsaid. We talked heart to heart less and less. More and more often we were silent. And it was during this period that his younger brother, Maxim, came back into our lives. He had recently moved to our city and was temporarily staying with us. At first, it seemed harmless. He helped around the house, joked, kept the conversation going. It was easy with him. He listened. He noticed my mood. He saw me. My husband started working late, more and more often, and Maxim was there. At first, it was just conversation. Long talks in the kitchen in the evenings, tea, quiet music, laughter. He talked about his fears. I talked about my doubts. We were getting closer without noticing it. The line began to blur slowly. I understood that something wrong was happening, but every time I convinced myself, it's just friendship, we're family. Nothing bad. One day, my husband and I had a particularly bad fight. He said he was tired, that he was fed up with everything, that we had become strangers. I was crying in the bathroom when Maxim knocked on the door. He just hugged me, for a long time, silently. And it was at that moment that something inside finally broke. After that, we started to avoid eye contact. But the tension only grew. Every accidental meeting in the kitchen, every touch, every glance, everything was filled with what could not be spoken. We understood if we took a step, there would be no going back. But we did. It wasn't the passion from the movies, it was a mixture of pain, loneliness, weakness, and the desire to feel needed by someone. After that, I couldn't look my husband in the eye. Every gesture of his care cut me inside. I felt like a traitor. I wanted to disappear. Maxime moved out soon after. We never discussed what happened again. I lived with this burden for several years. Our marriage gradually fell apart. I became cold, closed off, distant. My husband didn't understand what was happening. We fought more and more often. In the end, we divorced. He never found out the truth. Sometimes I think, would it have been more honest to tell him? Or is it better that he kept the illusion of fidelity? 7 years have passed. We each have our own lives now. But sometimes, when it gets especially quiet at night, I remember that moment in the kitchen. And I understand. The biggest betrayal is not even the act itself. The biggest betrayal is the weakness when you betray yourself. This story taught me one thing. If a void appears in a relationship, you can't fill it with another person, because the price is too high.